hold up. All right, so can y'all see my screen?
I can't see nothing.
Okay. All right, let me make sure I can see. Let me check on my phone. Okay, we live.
I can't see nothing.
Okay, yeah, we good. We live. All right, we about to get started, y'all. All right. Peace and Black Power, everybody. Want to welcome you to another NCRBGZ Productions, where we be dropping these bangers, y'all. Like always, family, I want to thank you for taking the time out your busy schedule to be here with us, to watch this video with us. Look, click the thumb up, click the like button, thumb up the video, click the subscribe button, and click that notification in case whenever we go live or we drop a video, you will get notified so you can check in with us. But fam, you know, like a week and a half ago, we done a show called The Great Reset, and we named it The Great Reset Part number 1. So today, what we're gonna do, we're doing The Great Reset Part 2, family, right? So this is The Great Reset Part 2. What I wanna do is I'm gonna present some information, and then I have my panel members up here. I wanna give them opportunity to elaborate on this. So right now, I want to give you an opportunity to introduce yourselves to the family, and we're going to jump right into this.
Anybody going first?
I guess you can start off, Elder.
Okay, I'm Elder Ramesu, and I'm here to just join into the discussion. We want to deal with reality and facts, and that's what I'm here to do. Thank you for allowing me.
Appreciate you.
Hi, it's Julie here, and I'm here with my husband, Rich. We're living in England. We're on lockdown at the moment, so yeah, we're just here to share our experience with this lockdown and how the government is trying to issue in this great reset here. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, I really appreciate y'all, and I'm glad that y'all are here because y'all are actually going through it right now. So, you know, y'all can give us some insight on what's going on over there because they haven't really got there. They haven't got to here right now. So we're going to get started, family, with this. Y'all give me one quick second. Let me see. Jump in. All right. So, all right, y'all. So the Great Reset Part 2, right? And this is coming from the world, the WEF, World Economic Forum, where they're trying to switch some stuff up. So we're going to jump right into it. All right, so this is the World Economic Forum. This is their page, family. You can come here. Oh, hold up. I'm going too fast. All right, you can come here and you can check it out yourself, right? It says there is an urgent need for global stakeholders to cooperate in simultaneously managing the direct consequences of the COVID-19 crisis, right? It says to improve the state of the World Economic Forum is starting the Great Reset Initiative, right? So we told y'all, I showed a video last time talking about the Great Reset and what the initiative was, right? So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna play a video right now to start this off, and so you can get an idea of what these folks is talking about when they say the Great Reset, right? This is the subject is own nothing, have everything. So y'all check this out. Probably like 7-8 minutes.
Imagine a world where the richer you are, the less you own. A world where a fancy car, a large house, and expensive clothes cease to be a status symbol and become a burden, while experiences replace belongings as what we cherish the most. Is it possible to own nothing but have everything? In the past, if your house was on fire and everyone was safe, what was the one thing you would want to save? Photo albums, right? Today, most of us have our photos safe and sound in the cloud. Our music, books, movies, all turn from physical objects to digital services. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. Every year, I own less of what I use. I remember my 17th birthday. I was so excited to finally get my driver's license. It was a big deal to drive a car, not to mention buy one, compare prices, research fuel efficiency, deliberate about the color and design. Once having a car, you would need to insure it, fix it now and then, remember to fuel it, spend long hours searching for parking. Oh yeah, and wash it from time to time. After all that, why would you even want to own a car when what you really need is to get from point A to B? Today, I can summon a car anytime, anywhere. It appears within minutes, takes me wherever I need to go, and then disappears, like magic. In many ways, that is a better arrangement than having to own a car. What used to be a car is transforming into a riding service. Someday soon, personal cars may be banned in cities, replaced with an autonomous vehicle service.
Okay, let me stop that right there. That just sounds crazy to me, that she is talking about personal cars being banned. Now, y'all can chime in if y'all want to at any moment when I stop it. If y'all want to chime in, please, y'all chime in. Because this just sounds crazy to me. All right, we'll keep. Go ahead, Elder.
It's not that crazy when you think about it. You know, this has started over here in America with President Jimmy Carter in Global 2000. And, you know, in 1976, he became the president of the United States. By 1977, he had a Secretary of State, Cyrus Vance, do what he called an assessment as to what would the world look like, you know, when we're heading to 2000. They called it Global 2000, and they made the assessment, and they determined that the world would be grossly overpopulated. So now we get to the year 2000, and it morphs into what they call Agenda 21, which again, the world is overpopulated. So now, you know, it's a master plan to not only reduce the population, but to formulate a one world government where the elite, the owners of this plan, will have all the riches. And the riches that we acknowledge as gold, silver, platinum, and other precious metals, while the poor or the less fortunate would go around having what we call, at least on this side of the pond, a Federal Reserve note that has no intrinsic value. So this is a well thought out plan, you know, and if we are not aware of it, then we're going to fall victim to it, because it's part of a master plan that started many, many thousands of years ago in other galaxies and wound up here on the planet Earth.
Okay, thank you. So we're going to finish playing this.
As a technology product designer, I've started to notice this shift from physical products to digital services. I believe that as objects become smarter, infused with bits of intelligence and technology, they will transform into services, swapped, shared, used in the same social way we swap digital media. Will our houses become services too? In the past, newlyweds would go ahead and buy a house, secure a mortgage, compare real estate, buy a ton of furniture, and spend long hours on upkeep and renovation once in a while. Why make all these commitments? Life is full of surprises, especially these days. Over the past few years, I have lived and traveled to more than 30 countries across 5 continents. With a supercomputer in my pocket and widespread connectivity, I don't need an office. I can work from anywhere. Travel has become a way of living, serving as fertile ground for a new generation of nomads. And that's when owning stuff really becomes a burden. Services are more important than ever. We've all experienced at some point the joys of service. Gyms, barbershops, restaurants, cleaning services. Whatever it was for you, I bet that among other things, this gave you a little more freedom, a little more time, and peace of mind. Then why stop there? Imagine a world where all the physical products around us transform into digital services. How would life look like with no belongings, no commodities, no wallet, no assets or property? A world where the only things you can buy are services and experiences. Let me take you to a day in a life in this kind of future.
All right, quick question. Since nobody owns nothing, who you getting these services from? Right? Don't nobody own nothing. So who are you getting these services from since don't nobody own nothing? Somebody has to own the services that you're getting, right? Right?
Somebody has to own something. Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. You know, that reminded me as soon as she started speaking about Uber and Lyft here, where you can just, and it's all set up digitally, where you don't have to provide any money. Everything is, is dealing with your account, which is, consisting of moving things from one side of the business ledger to the other, positive, and what they call liabilities. So we see that in motion, and it's a scary thing because they've been talking about it for the longest when they talk about one world government. So we're going to see these things taking place all over the world. We get a glimpse of it right here in America, especially with the Act of 1871, because the Act of 1871 formed a corporation called the United States, and the corporation is owned by foreign interests, and moved in and out, and showed the original Constitution, in the garbage, So, yeah, we're dealing with real shrewd characters, and they have come down here, and some people say, they're Luciferians, coming from other star constellations. Whether you believe that or not, it would be a great subject of debate or conversation.
Well, family, y'all can Google this video and you can check it out, because I'm not going to watch no more. We're going to keep moving because we're about to get into some deep stuff since the elder's starting to break it there. All right, so earlier today, I posted this meme on Facebook. This was kind of started the conversation, where it says 6 feet apart, wearing masks. Does this sound familiar? You are taking part in a Luciferian ritual willingly. So when I made this post, people were like, what are you talking about? 6 foot apart, wearing masks. You're willingly taking part in a Luciferian ritual. So I wanted to tie this in with the Great Reset because this is something that the Great Reset has us doing because of the coronavirus, right? So now we're about to get into some stuff, family. Well, we're going to talk about this 6 feet apart, wearing masks, and what all this stuff really means. So y'all strap in. We about to go on a ride, right? So let's start off with this. The ritual of wearing masks, right? So this says, I put, the wearing of the mask over one's mouth is a token of submission, a gesture of your willingness to be subject to others who are not your usual sovereign. According to the Encyclopedia Britannica, mask wearing is a form of disguise or concealment usually worn over or in front of the face to hide the identity of a person and by its own features to establish another being. Now, we're going to keep going, right? But this, I call this the ritual of mask wearing, and it tells you, just keep going. We're just going to keep going, right? Wearing the mask is a powerful occult symbol indicating your submission, right? The entire point of a court ritual mask wearing is to hammer home to your subconsciousness until it becomes completely true in your daily life, the idea that things are no longer the same and will never be the same again. So when you look at mask wearing and your acceptance, so what did the occults do, right? When it comes to this, it was a sign. This is very ancient, right? And you see they got their hand over their mouth, right? Now, the hand over the hush symbol, that is a form of secret masonry degree, but it also means that you're not going to what? Tell what you know. You're going to be quiet. Now, this is an ancient symbol, right? And it's all over. It's ancient, and you see a lot of people that are using the symbolism of silence. Hold on, let me do something. Hold on, let me move this. All right. The symbolism of silence is an ancient symbol used. The symbolism of silence is an ancient symbol used, right? Well, let me keep going. Right, so this is some protest that was going on in America back in July of 2021, where these people were protesting, and it says masking is a satanic ritual. Groups protest outside Spokane Health Officer House over state mask mandate. So these people are protesting that wearing a mask is a satanic ritual, and you have the symbolism of silence is ancient, and wearing a mask is a powerful occult indication to your submission. And, this is very important, the ritual of mask wearing, right? So you have us wearing masks. That's one thing, right? So this is what I call a satanic ritual or a Luciferian ritual where you wear masks, right? When you wear masks, it's hard also to identify with the people that you're coming in contact with if you really don't know them. It disguises part of their face, so you just see their eyes, right? Another thing, now I'm gonna deal with the ritual of daily hand washing, because we all know it's good to wash your hands, right? But hand washing is the occultic ritual symbol of rejection, right? So essentially, when hand washing, you are washing away your old life and accepting the new way of life, new world order, right? Now, I put a Bible verse in here, right? Matthew 27:24 says, when Pilate saw that he could prevail nothing, but that rather a tumult was made, he took water and washed his hands before the multitude, saying, I am innocent of the blood of this just person. See to it, right? But what that meant is Pilate performed a ritual washing of his hands in front of all the people of Israel as a means of placing the responsibility for the Lord's death directly on the hands of the men, those who made sure he would be crucified, right? So from the biblical perspective, when Pilate washed his hands, he was letting them know that he had nothing to do with it, the killing of the Lord that was crucified on the cross. But when you're washing your hands now, you're washing away your old life and you're accepting the new life. This is the ritual of hand washing, right? Now, oh man, I went too far. I didn't want to deal with that yet, right? We also know that throughout all major religions, I don't care what culture you come from, when it comes to washing your hands, it's a ritualistic gesture that you're doing when you're washing your hands. We all know this. So we have mask wearing, wherein you're accepting your new fate and you're accepting the new world order. And now you're washing away your old life and accepting your new life when you're constantly washing your hands. Right? So now the social distance ritual. All right. So you got a lot of different things with this social distancing and the ritual of the social distancing. Right? One is, this is why they want to keep us 6 feet apart, is because the electromagnetic field of our heart and also the energy of love that we put out, it ranges like 6 feet. So when you have us, so we over 6 feet apart or 6 feet apart, then we are not able to feel that love for one another because we're out that magnetic field of 6 feet. We're out the range of it. This is why they want us 6 feet apart, right? Biblically speaking, when you're talking about 6 feet apart, right? You know, after all, there's no more widely used occult number in the world than the number 6, right? So while all the feet we got to be apart, they have us to be 6 feet apart, right? Why it ain't 12 feet apart? Why it ain't 7 feet apart? Why is it 6 feet apart? Why did they specify 6 feet, right? As you know, the Antichrist, every number is 600, 6 or 666, right? Symbolically speaking, the ritual of social distancing at the magical 6 feet apart is the part of the initiation ritual that separates you from God, right? So when you're into the being initiated into certain, I'm going to say the initiation ritual, you have to be 6 feet, and the 6 feet apart represents that it separates you from God, right? So you have, so by symbolically tearing apart the mystical and the metaphoric body of a star, which is supposed to be fitly joined together and compacted, meaning that when we are together, we're better together than we are apart, right? So you have wearing the mask, that's a ritual when you wear the mask. Hand washing is another ritual. Then you have the ritual of being 6 feet apart, right? So you have these things. These are all satanic or Luciferian rituals that we are doing willingly, right? So what I wanted to do is, I got one more thing, one more slide. I'm gonna let y'all jump in, right? So I wanted to point out this, right? Because this is, everybody know that Set chopped up a Saw body, right, into 14 pieces, 14 pieces, right? And this is essentially what the separation of 6 feet separating us from being whole is, right? So you have the head, the feet, the arm, the heart, the breast, the thigh, the eye, the hand, the finger, the phallus, the neck, the shin bones, the vertebrae, the ears, right? These are all the body parts that were separated, how Self separated when he chopped up Saw body parts, right? But this is all part of the occultists are using it as far as the separator 6 feet, right? So I'm gonna play this and I'm gonna let y'all jump in, right? Because this is a 2-minute clip of Dr. Naeem Akbar actually talking about this a long time ago. So we're gonna play this real fast.
Cousins, 9th cousins, 10th cousins are all family. He began to break up that idea, to teach that there was no such thing beyond a first cousin. To begin to teach them that once your grandmama is old, put her in a hole. Begin to teach notions that somehow males and females could be interchangeable. One could be the male for a while, the other could be the female for a while. It didn't matter. In fact, you didn't need to. Try nothing but single family marriages. You can do something like have your babies in test tubes and raise them in mason jars and send them off to some computer to teach them what they need to be taught. There's somehow the notion that you really didn't even need a family system were ideas established by Set. And the Osirian spirit began to be infused because of the mutilation that was taking place. And so they began to believe. The sisters began to say to the brothers, I don't need you. I can do for myself. The brothers began to say to the sisters, so many of them around here, sister, you don't want me, I'll go find 10 others to replace you. And somehow the sense of responsibility and the alliance that existed between the two became something that was severed, cut up by Set, because he understood that the body had to be mutilated or it might come back to life. And then they began to say, well, let's do what we can in terms of not only dividing the family, let's divide the people politically. Let's begin to split them up in all kinds of strange camps. Let's make some of them communists. Let's make some of them Democrats. Let's make some of them Republicans. Let's make some of them Rastafari. Let's make some of them this. Let's make some of them that. Let's make some of them a little bit of everything and let them believe that the club that they have joined is what they are. Mutilation. Cut them up. Let them begin to lose sight of the natural unity, the natural oneness, the natural connectedness that exists within the one body of Osiris. Let's begin. Listen.
All right, I'm gonna stop there, y'all, because hey, Brother Naeem Akbar be going in, buddy. But listen, but basically, I put this in there to talk about the 6 feet, the separation, right? Because I'm comparing them trying to keep us 6 feet apart as also like Brother Naeem Akbar was saying, like when they chopped up a body part, and to have us separated, right? So now we're not together, we're not whole. This is another ritual that they are doing with this 6 feet to keep us separated, to keep our energy, to keep the love that we have for one another from radiating between each other, to break that radiation, to break that cycle of love. Because once we become whole, just like when Asar became whole, we're powerful. And this is all part of their elaborate plan that they have demised and they are putting it into motion right now as we speak, family. So with that being said, I'm gonna open up the mics and y'all can jump right in. Julie, I know you and your husband is over there in the UK. You told me that y'all have been experiencing this. They have been teaching your children this for a long time. Y'all gonna mute y'all mic and kind of like give us some insight of what's going on over there in y'all neck of the woods.
Right, you gave a lot of information there. To respond to all of you, oh Lord have mercy, I need a pen and paper. But yeah, we're here, we're on lockdown. We were on the first lockdown for 5 months. Then we came out of lockdown, but there were some kind of restrictions. And now we've just come off another month full lockdown, only to go back on lockdown. So as you've said, we're supposed to be social distancing, mask wearing, washing of the hands. I don't even remember any. I don't do any of it. I don't take no notice of it because I refuse to submit to this nonsense. It is exactly what you say is. It's satanic, and it goes deeper than just separating us based on killing the love between us. It makes people physically ill. It really does. The mask wearing is dangerous. That kills you quicker than that kills you. Because you're breathing in your own
Carbon dioxide.
Yeah, you're breathing in your own carbon dioxide. It gives you a type of pneumonia. And then before you know it, they've diagnosed you with COVID when it's the mask, really. The social distancing, the amount of people I've seen who have lost their minds, you know, people of sound mind, young people who have become depressed, stressed. They're just losing it, losing all hope. It's heartbreaking. I refuse to social distance. I don't care. I don't social distance anywhere. I don't care what the government says. I don't care what fines they want to place on us because they're fining us. But no, I've seen enough.
Fines of the excess of like 10,000, 100,000, all kinds of stupid prices that
Yeah.
can never be paid. So
Yeah, so even if they fine me, I can't pay it because I haven't got those kind of money lying around. So it doesn't matter to me. I refuse to acquiesce. The washing of hands, I'm not washing my hands any more than normal. We're sensible beings. We know when to wash our hands. You know, everywhere you go now, there's these wash stations. I don't know if it's like that in America. You go to the supermarket, there's these hand gel business everywhere. You go to the market, you go to the shop, anywhere you go, there's this washing of hand. No, I refuse to do it.
they've got a green light system, red light, green light system as well, which
Yeah.
they've introduced within certain shops. But you know, it's all leading. So you get to the door, it goes red. You're not allowed to walk in, supposedly. And then you know, so that's when you start to see the whole queue building up, and that queue, everybody just knows how to fall into line, so they instantly fall into their six meters apart
Yeah.
line. You know, everyone just does that, and they wait for the light to turn green, and then they go in and then they stop. You know, they don't like us because we walk straight past them, just walk straight through, whether it be red. Don't care.
Yeah, we don't comply. None at all. None at all.
There's a lot of people that are like that, but the vast majority of people have completely fallen into line, wearing masks in the full-blown rain. I've never seen anything like it. Shocking.
Yeah,
So-
you know what I mean?
They're
So,
waterboarding themselves.
So listen. So you said they find you. How do they find you? Like what? Give me a example of being fined. What could you do that they will find you? Like if they catch you without a mask outside?
You get caught without a you're in the shop, you know, you're doing your shopping, you get caught inside that shop without a mask. The police come. The police come, and you know, they you know, obviously they interrogate you for why you do not have that mask on, you know. They've got their mask on themselves because obviously they've got to be seen to be doing what they call the right thing. So at that same time, they also issue a fine on the spot because of you not wearing the mask, or whether it be social distancing or whatever it might be. You know what I mean? You know what's been happening a lot over here is shops that have not been complying with the lockdown because their businesses, they've watched businesses being destroyed.
Yeah.
So they've decided we are not closing, and their shops have been bombarded, doors being kicked off, they're being dragged out of their shops, they're being fined excesses of 10,000, 100,000, whatever it might be.
200,000.
Yeah. They just keep rising the prices, you know. It is. Yeah, so yeah, basically that's what's been going on. That's how the fines have been happening. That's the type of style. People that are obviously there's been a lot of protesting that's been going on as well, and yeah, you're getting fined for doing that. You know, I know that in Los Angeles they've just come with a new law, which is really all over the place, to be honest. Where if you are found walking, you are breaking the law. So, but that's everywhere. That isn't just there. That's everywhere.
Where in America?
In America. Yeah. They got that in America.
Wow, that's in. Wow, listen. Elder Ramesso, you want to chime in?
You know, there was a lot being said. You know, You know, it's interesting what Naeem Akbar was talking about, and he probably went over a lot of people's heads, because when we talk about, you know, the cutting up of the body of a star, you know, we're talking about it's a ritual in the third degree in the Masonic Lodge, and we're talking about higher, as he's referred to in that degree. It's ritual, and so, you know, 14 pieces, and only Osset was able to put the body back together, you know, the female. So we're talking ritualistically, but moreover, when we talk about the 6 feet apart, you have to remember that they're ushering in what we call 5G technology, and 5G technology deals with facial recognition. And there's so many people on the planet that, you know, the only way that you can have a file where you can identify people is that you have to separate them at least 6 feet apart, so that you can begin to, you know, to recognize each person as an individual. In fact, a straw man, so to speak. You know, that's part of the ritual of the mask. You know, not having a personality, but a straw man. So, you know, a lot of this is ritual, but, you know, the average person is not going to be able to read it, because the average person is only reading what they think they see there. They're not looking at the esoteric. They're dealing with the exoteric. And so therefore, you know, they may be, you know, played, so to speak, because it's what we call the Hegelian dialectic. And the Hegelian dialectic, you know, it comprises 3 dialectical stages of development, where you have a thesis, you know, giving rise to a reaction or an antithesis which contradicts or negates the thesis. In other words, you know, they come in, they create an issue, a problem. They stand back and watch for your reaction to the problem, and then they come in with the solution. So here in America, and probably in the world over, what they have done is they have created this plandemic, right? And now they sit back and they watch your reaction. They watch how you deal with it, because any intelligent person will understand that you can't continue to breathe in your own CO2, because it becomes poisonous. In fact, the medical term, when the body has elevated levels of carbon dioxide, they call it hypercapnia, right? And when you suffer from this ailment, it mimics exactly the COVID diagnosis. You know, if you look at the symptoms of hypercapnia, and then you put it next to a COVID-19 patient, they're mimicking the same symptoms. So they want to be able to have you in a position where your reaction is such that they need to come with the vaccination, right, to ensure that everybody's vaccinated. Because what happens through the vaccination, you know, this is where the people start falling off the planet. You know, it's really to reduce the population. Again, it goes back to Agenda 21, and what preceded that was Global 2000. You know, the event will actually, so they think, reduce the population on the planet. We're talking about, you know, a global conspiracy. We're talking about a global conspiracy that it's hatched. You know, some people say at the Bohemian Grove, that where all these world leaders meet every year. You know, presidents, dignitaries from around the globe, and the Bohemian Grove is set up in such a way where you have people right now who are trying to become members, and they have a 15-year waiting list to become involved in this, you know, in this global endeavor that takes place here in California, which actually is the site of the Church of Satan that was initiated by Ronald Reagan in 1966. So, you know, you have a lot of things going on. You know, I mean, there's so many things going on that if you're not aware then you will become a part of the sheeple, and you will be led down to that slaughter, all because you're not paying attention. And when you see the word ignorance, ignorance means to ignore the facts. It's when you breed beliefs. When you believe in something, right? You're accepting things without knowing. And even in the word believe, you have the word lie, L-I-E. So they are really grooming, the sheeple, not only to take the vaccination, but to do it in a way where they make their own decision. So this way they don't feel no guilt or responsibility behind you taking that shot. And if we look at the history of the World Health Organization, or the way they have done black people here in America, I can't really say what they're doing in England, but I know England, right, is a part of, 3 inner city governments, the Washington, D.C., the District of Columbia, the inner city of London, and then the Vatican. We already know that. But if you're not aware, they want to keep you, blind and in such a way where, they're like I said, taking no responsibility for what they implemented, and we just need to take a look at past experiences with the Tuskegee experiment. These are medical people telling us that we need to take this vaccination, and only to find out they was giving people syphilis. When you look at the history here in America, right, when they talked about the swine flu, it never came out. Many people took that shot, and the swine flu never came out. But shortly thereafter, people started coming down with AIDS, HIV.
Elder Ramesu, since you're here, why don't you talk about the year that Satan was released on Earth? And
oh yeah.
Since you own the subject, why don't you just break that? I'm gonna pull some stuff up just so they can see that you ain't lying when you talk about the year of the child and all that.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. When you look at Catholicism, they have a priesthood and they have a pope, and the pope literally came to America in 1965, and they say that he came over for a 13-hour visit, mysteriously, and then he returned back to the Vatican. The occult says that he came here to impregnate, the woman, so that the woman could have the devil's child. And he came specifically to New York, and he visited the Dakota House. The Dakota House is real famous with the occult world over. This is where John Lennon lived, where he was killed. Roberta Flack, many of the occultists back in the early turn of the century, in the 1920s, they were always associated with the Dakota House. In fact, the movie Rosemary's Baby, that deals with the devil's son being born in 1966, was filmed at the Dakota House. Right? It's no different from the film Damien, that talks about the devil's child being born in 1966. Now, when the Pope came over in 65, it stands to reason, which they say he came over and he impregnated the woman, so the baby was born in 1966, July 6, 1966. And they made the movie, The Omen. They made the movie The Omen, and in The Omen, Damien, the little boy, was depicted to go into the government and be raised in the government to slant the world and guide the world into total negativity. So now this boy was born in 1966, and then in the movie it talked about Damien. Read your Bible when you get 13, so you know who you are. And if you look at when you add up the numbers, 13 plus 66, you'll get 79. And the United Nations declared 1979, the International Year of the Child. They didn't say children, meaning more than one. They said child, one. And they gave out these little pendants that people put on their lapels, and they were running around to say, I gave a donation, but the reality of it is that was part of the ritual as well. But this devil's child was depicted to be raised in politics, in fact, in the White House, because he was assigned to the ambassador that was housed in London, in England, and they couldn't kill him. They tried to kill him, but like I said, he killed his parents, or those people that protected him killed the parents. And it's a wonderful movie. You can get it. It's called Omen, and you can still get it to this day. And it will reveal some startling things that you can compare what's happening today with. But so when you look at how they're politicizing a health event, there's no way that they can take a political issue or take a health issue and make it and politicize it and tell you that you have to wear a mask. Now, most people who are sheeple will acquiesce into following that ritual. But if you understand constitutional law, then you understand First Amendment. You can't tell me that I have to wear a mask, because it's about religion, right? And that's what the First Amendment talks about, and it's freedom of religion. And religion says that man, was created to have power and dominion over everything. So if man was created to have power and dominion over everything, how is another man going to tell me what I must do that will eventually kill me? See, we can get into it from that perspective, but it takes a lot of people to understand the ramifications of wearing that mask as opposed to not wearing it and standing on the square using constitutional law to do that.
Yeah, that's so right. And family, I let y'all see, here it is. You can Google the International Year of the Child. And it says in 1979, they proclaimed it the International Year of the Child. So and this the little pendant right here that they were wearing. Right here. This the pendant that everybody wearing right here. So but all this stuff plays a pivotal role in what we're going through right now. All this, and this I own nothing and I'm happy talk is just psychotic to me. And Julie, I know you was telling me that they have been teaching this to y'all children for years over there. You said that this is already in the school system, something like that.
Yeah, when I was a teacher, I knew there was something not quite right with the curriculum, but I wasn't quite sure. And I remember, like, I was covering a geography lesson, and he was going through like the GCSE, like the exams with the children, and he said, if you write sustainable development in your exam, it's a pass. Just write the word sustainable development. At the time, I didn't know what it was. I know now it's Agenda 21. You understand? And this was 10 plus years ago. So our children, they're already brainwashed into this. Well,
This is serious, family.
I'm going to show you my daughter's university. I'm going to put my camera on.
Okay.
I'm going to show you her diary, her first year. She's in year 3 now. Her first year university diary, the logo's on the back. Hold on. Can you see that? Can you see that there? Oops,
let me pin your video. All right, let me see.
Can you see that?
Yeah, sustainable development goals.
Yeah. So there's logos. Do you know what I mean? The logos are on books. The kids are fully. she's doing business at university. And when this lockdown happened, everything started to make sense. And I said to her, "What are you learning at university? What's your current assignment?" And she said, "How international businesses fail." I said, "Do international businesses fail? Do they fail so easily? They normally get bailouts and things like that." She says, "Yeah, but they said they might fail." And I said, "Can you see what's going on?" And when I said to her, "Look at your diary, go and Google what this is." When she Googled it, she sat down and then she said, "Mom, I'm ready to listen to you now." Because before that, she thought we were just going too far, we're conspiracy theorists. But when she saw it on her diary for real, she understood and realized that this thing is real.
Wow. So, family, we just wanted to give y'all a part 2 to this, to the Great Reset. Don't take nothing that anybody told you here for face value. Make sure you go out and you do your own due diligence and you research this information and get back with us. Leave a comment. Again, subscribe to NCRBGZ Productions on YouTube to keep getting this content. I appreciate the Elder Ramesu and Sister Julie and her husband, for coming up here. I appreciate y'all for joining me today. Y'all got any last remarks, anything? Because what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna play a little bit more Naeem Akbar before we gonna let him in the show. But do y'all got anything else y'all want to add on before we close out?
Yeah, I wanna take the opportunity to thank you for allowing me to come on your platform. It's always interesting. I always learn. I want to thank Julie also for her input. It's always positive and it's welcomed. And so thank you.
Yeah, I'd just like to thank you also, for even doing this kind of teaching. I think it's really important. People need to know the kind of things that have been out there for the longest time. It's in our faces, but probably because of the way that we've been set up to be against one another as a people. I'm talking as a nation, not just as Black people alone, but as people, as humanity. We've been set up to be at odds with one another. We've been made to miss a lot of what's going on. I mean, in your country, you have Alberta. Is it Alberta? You got Georgia anyway. And you got the Georgia Guidestones, which are hopefully you already know about, and what is on that. And that actually shows you how they have an agenda to depopulate by 95% the global population. So there's that. So hopefully if anyone doesn't know about it, they can go and look into that. And thank you for really talking about this great reset, which is definitely in full motion. Klaus Schwab, he's one of the main voices for that right now. He's even looking to go and shut off all power, and he's really happy about that.
Turn off your water, turn off your electricity.
Yeah.
To force you into this vaccine business.
Yeah. So, as you know, the Great Reset is about resetting everything that you have ever had your hand in, so that they can conglomerate and take all control and then restart you back with owning nothing. And somehow you are really happy for it. You wouldn't even own a pot and you'd be really happy.
Well, they're gonna get a rude awakening. Because even in that article about the Great Reset, they talk about in their city, wherein everybody is happy in their city, but they have people that's outside of the city that have been fighting the government, and they live traditional lives, meaning that they still live off the land, they still plant their food, they still drive cars. So even in their article that they present saying that's going to be here in 2030, it's a group of citizens that's not living in the city, that's not a part of that, because they like, no, we're not living like this. You know, we're gonna plant our own food. We still gonna own our land. But what the article don't talk about is the fight that the government is having with them, the wars that's going on, because there's war going on. Because if either you're gonna fall in line with what they want you to do, or they're gonna try to take you out. But that article, you know, they try to sugarcoat that, but it lets me know that everybody ain't gonna agree to this. You know, you're gonna have some people that's gonna be like, you know what, I'm gonna stand. I ain't doing it. Look, either I leave here, you're gonna leave here, but you're not gonna force me to do it, right? So, and that's the aspect that I feel like, you know, that article speaks on it. So I'll tell anybody to read the article. But let me share my screen. I want to play a little bit more of Naeem. He be going in. I don't know if y'all listen to the brother or not, but he be going in. That's all I say. So I don't want to play where I started. Hold on, let me do this. I'm gonna play like another 2 minutes of it, then we're gonna end the show.
Cousins, ninth cousins, 10th cousins are all family. He began to break up that idea. You know, every time I come to Dallas, I'm fascinated by the tremendous.
Oh man, hold on, y'all. I'm messing up.
Cousins, ninth cousins, 10th cousins are all. Let's begin. Listen. Let's give them as many clubs as they want. Let them be Methodist and Baptist, and let them be sanctified. But not one kind of Methodist and Baptist. Let's make them all kinds. AMEs, CMEs, AMEs, signs, United MEs, MEs, EMs, all of them. Let's make them not just Baptists, but primitive Baptists, missionary Baptists, wash feet Baptists, clean foot Baptists. Let's make them all kind of Baptists. Let's christen some of them, baptize them. Let's take some to the river and let's pour water on the other. Let's do whatever we can to them. Let's burn up it all for them. Listen. And what makes it so bad, you got to remember now that ISIS had slipped in earlier and had already told them that, look, ain't none of this you. You are really one who seeks submission to God and find peace by submitting yourself to the oneness of the order of nature and bringing yourself into alliance with that. And that's your true nature. So listen. So then they began to put up some other camps. Let's make you a Sunni Muslim, Hanifa, Nafi Muslim. Let's make you an American Muslim. Let's make you a Nation of Islam Muslim. Let's make you a Muslim, non-Muslim Muslim, Arab-wearing Muslim, Arab, non-Arab talking Muslim, a Quranic Muslim, a book talking Muslim, all kind of stuff. So they were in the club. So Osirian's body had been split up again. So not only were the Muslims at war with the Christians, but the Christians were at war with each other. Not only with each other between the Catholics and the Protestants, but the various kinds of Protestants within the Protestants were at war with each other. So not only were the Protestants at war with each other, the Baptists who were the Protestants were at war with the other Baptists, so they went and started another church down the street. In the meantime, listen, mutilate the body. Chop it up into 14 pieces. Spread it all over the land. Let it float down the river, and you can never get Osiris back together again, or so you think. All of these divisions were engineered by Set, who understood that Osiris worked as a body, a singular body, moving in a singular direction, held together by a singular principle, moving with a single aim, a single destiny, and understanding its unity. But in order to keep the body broken up, you had to mutilate it. And then you had to come up with ways to make people take their productive energy and disperse it. So they had people believing that the only way to acquire wealth, the only way to acquire the material things that you need in a world, it's for everybody to do for himself. So there was one boy trying to get his pockets full. and wouldn't give anything to the other one. Then there was another sister who was trying to get him to give part of his to her so she could keep it for herself.
Hey, Elder Ramesu, this is
Yes,
the
sir.
same. You remember that story about the people? Matter of fact, let's end it with that, Elder Ramesu. The story of the people that was trying to feed each other in the room. We're in the show because that's where he was going. He was giving a metaphor similar to that same story. And I'll let you end it like that, Elder, because I think that's beautiful. End it like that.
Yeah. Well, there was a guy. He was curious. He wanted to know the difference between heaven and hell. So he was asking that question to a guy who happened to be very spiritual in nature. So the guy took him to a room, and he opened the door to the room, and we seen in the room, a big round table, and then we seen a bunch of people sitting around the table with these long spoons, and they looked like they was dying, like death took them over. They were skinny, faces sunken, and the guy said to the guy, he said, "That's hell." So okay, so they go to the second room, and it's the same setup, round table, people sitting around the table, a bunch of food on the table, and these people are sitting around happy, laughing, joking, and they had the same long spoons. And the guy says, "Well, that's heaven." So the guy says, "Well, what do you mean? It's exactly the same two rooms, the same certain circumstances. What do you mean?" He said, "Well, you see, in the first room, there was a big round table, and they had spoons long enough to not be able to feed themselves, but they refused to feed each other. And they were so selfish and egotistical that they decided that they would rather just not feed the next person. So they died. Well, in the second room, because they were happy and practiced selfless principles, where they were able to feed each other out of love and concern for their fellow man. That was heaven. And until we get back to that particular scenario where we have unconditional love for one another. What can I do for you? Anything at all without asking for anything in return. Until we get back to that platform, then we'll always be struggling to get to a place where we can self-actualize and become in tune with the Creator, with the divine, with the God of the universe. Till we get to that point, we're going to struggle. So, with having said that, thank you for allowing me to share that.
All right, and that right there is a wrap. I thank y'all for watching. Catch y'all. Hey, Julie, is your hand raised or you clapping?
I was clapping. I like that story. Thank you, Elder.
So we're gonna end the show like that, family. We appreciate y'all.
Thank you.
Julie and Elder Ramesu and your husband. I really appreciate y'all coming up here with me. And y'all have a blessed day. Wadu.
Thank you.
Wadu. Okay.